Welcome to the last session that actually Jose invited me to and said, hey, Ivan, you have to talk about AI from the developer's perspective, from the company perspective, and how it might change the...
That is because I have the stream open. So.
It's like AI-generated content? No.
Go ahead.
So basically, I thought about it, should I do it, should I not? And then, okay, if I can talk 10 minutes about it, I should maybe do it. Yeah. And then if you look at this graph, it's from our YouTube video that had like 2.5 million views. You can see, hey, the adoption of ChatGPT AI is insane, right? So like in super short time, there's like a bazillion people that use it, right? And much quicker than any technology ever before. But for like us programmers, like I've been a programmer before, now I run a recruitment company. For like the programming folks, the question is, okay, how core is this new technology to the actual ability to be a good software engineer? I want to tell a short story about me being dumb with my boss. So in one of my programming jobs, I was rather junior and my boss was rather senior. And I was like totally shocked. I saw him typing with actually 2 fingers. Like he wouldn't touch type, or in German, like 10 Fingersystem, right? And me being like, super junior, I was like, man, like you are so good. If you would touch type, you would be like even faster. And he would be like, no, I don't need that. I do this for 10 years. I know what I'm doing. And I would almost harass him. Like I would say that for many times. And then I realized that, well, programming is not like, shoveling a hole in the ground, right? Just like 10 people, you give one person like a bigger shovel and like they will shovel faster, right? So in programming, it's really like that the output is not connected to the input sometimes. So this person maybe, while he was typing slower, he might have been thinking more. And the result, I don't know why, but this person definitely was the best programmer in the company. The code was extendable, readable. He got the most stuff done, despite the kind of handicap that he didn't use this technology called like touch typing, 10 Fingersystem. So for me, keep this in mind when we, at the end, we'll speak, okay, what is really actually a software engineer? Yeah? And talking about AI, we heard so many good examples, like Copilot is amazing. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the funny things developers told me where it didn't work so well. For example, there was someone who used ChatGPT to say, okay, how do I get started with this library, right? And it would give an answer, and the person would use this answer like for 4 hours. They would debug, trying to get it done because it looked like legit. And the right way would have been just look at the getting started guide, the famous RTFM, read the F manual and stuff. And this would have been like a 2-minute process to get going, right? So these are the things you hear like over and over again, or a very experienced engineer, probably one of the best engineers I know, he said, you tend to use less TDD. If you use AI tools, you tend to use TDD and less iteration thinking because you're so fast, like going on an Autobahn, it's a German guy, you don't look left and right, you mostly go straight. And if you go on the German Autobahn like super fast, this is really true, right? You can't, you focus on like one thing and you can't really have the freedom to a little bit, see what's happening around you. So another example would be a friend of mine. He's like both a coder and a writer. He would say, I've used AI tools a few times, mainly to test the rubber duck. If I had to write some BS text, I would be faster to just type it instead of struggling against the AI to have the output be like I want it to be, right? I mean, imagine like a writer like Shakespeare, Dostoevsky, Goethe, would they use this for writing, right? And us coders, okay, yeah, we generate small functions with it, but like, where is the point where we say, okay, this is maybe a bit too much effort, yeah? So this if it helps me like 9 out of 10 times to be like amazingly faster, like to generate the AHV number checker, but then at one point it does this, right? So it's like the 10th time, it's like undoing all the efficiency gains we had by, using it in the first place. So it's not as easy as we had before, like, okay, hey, will this make the sprint like half as long? Yeah. So the business people, it's like they want always to look at the output, right? And in coding, it's like very complicated to get the correct result, yeah. So this is maybe today morning, I just put it, this was funny, like, I was like, hey, I get so many emails, why can't there be like, people just writing shorter emails? It really sucks, And then somebody replied, hey, I can make you a generator that will summarize all the emails, yeah? And my first thought, all your emails, my business emails, which are like super crucial like to my business success, right? And my first thought was like, yeah, sure, would be nice, but like if one email that is like super important will be like, wrongly summarized, I'll be like super mad, yeah. And I censored what I said there because I thought this was be too too harsh. But then really my feeling, like, and this you can tell, like, if AI is like wrong in this like crucial moments, yeah, then so we really have to find the value actually, right? And this is like a thing that is like long time ago discovered, like when radical innovations are first rolled out, their effect is actually will be like there will be no more productivity. It will be actually less productivity because you have like an administrative effort, right? Before we had the talks, right, some of you asked questions like, hey, so if I use this AI tool, I have to do this other thing more and that other thing more. So this is now the question, right? Will this if you look at the 60s or something, they had like computers and all that, and everybody would think in 50 years we have flying cars, we work only 1 day per week, This was what people were thinking, yeah? And still we work 5 days a week, we don't have flying cars, so it's like with the AI, if you look around, this is a lot of positive, things attributed to the potential, which is, justified. The results are there, and half of you said, okay, I use this thing. And some of you really throw crucial stuff, as I understood, yeah, like for migrations and stuff. This is like not trivial things. So, yeah, so the question is, okay, like, what is the point that is like actually slowing us down, right? It is not mentioned in job descriptions so much, actually, right? I have to say, after 8 years of recruitment, seeing, I don't know, tens of thousands of resumes, talking to thousands of people, put hundreds of people personally into jobs and then handhold them later, yeah? That like still is like, it's all about, okay, are you a good general developer? And the companies still, they look at the keyword stuff, right? It is how it is, yeah. The AI stuff didn't really enter the like job description, sphere. Same as in a job description, you'll not find like, okay, you have to touch type with 10 fingers, otherwise we will not hire you. Like it's up to you, yeah. It's like an additional thing. So the same with AI. It will help you like, be faster. But the really core thing, unfortunately, some people ask me about the current market trends, so I a little bit talk about this, yeah. Like 2 years ago, it was like, okay, you have .NET person, there's a Java job. Like, how long will it take you to pick up Java syntax? Like 3 weeks or something? So companies were more willing to like, take this leap of faith and like train people. Now, like, let's say in the last, 6 to 18 months, it's really like only exactly like matching a senior person, like, no gaps in the CV, has to know exactly the stack and technology, and like there's like effort wasted to tell the clients actually, hey, this is obviously a good engineer, right? But this is where we are at this, moment in August 2023. And going back about positive things, of course, we saw it like you can work quicker, you can have much better new ideas. Yeah, GitHub Copilot generates you the code like from new, so it looks like really to generate new ideas, right? And you just don't waste time, energy on this boilerplate stuff. Yeah, you can really like use your brain for like the actual crucial things, the business domain, the actual clean code patterns, and to have the thing readable, testable, and so on. Tech interviews. Another positive thing I think I see is that, like, you have this, some companies, they do like, okay, let's just chat over code and like talk to each other. This thing will be, I think, more, and it's super positive because I always hated this, hey, we looked at your CV for like 2 seconds. Here's a 20-hour coding task, of course, unpaid. If it comes back and the tests run red, we will send you an auto reject. Yeah, I talk companies try to talk them out of it, yeah, and some listen, some don't. They then find it out on their own that this, of course, doesn't work, not even in a recession, right? Because, like, just, I mean, the companies that really talk to the person like for 10 minutes, they will find out much more than doing this automated stuff, pissing people off all the time. And now, of course, with like these technologies, it's much easier to, to say, hey, the candidate will anyway, use these tools. So why do you do this stupid like coding exercise? You'll piss them off, and it will be like no benefit to you whatsoever. Just do the thing which is more fair, where the developer candidate invests time as well as the hiring company. I always like to see that, right? Because then it's fair, because the company invests time, the candidate invests time, then we find out it's a match. If it's a match, yes or no, right? It makes much more sense. But like some companies, they think they are like super awesome, so they can like, just make candidates do bad things, I would say, and yeah. So basically, the really important thing here, where I would say, is like programming changing, as a career, it would be like here, yeah? In my opinion, it's like this thinking and doing, right? This is the core, what is programming or a software engineering career in essence, right? So in, university, we learned all the computer science fundamentals, like write clean code, it should be testable, extendable, a programmer in 20 years should be able to read it, all these things, they'll be the same for the next 50 years for sure, yeah? So, of course, focus on the new, like a little bit invest time to look at the new stuff, but this, I mean, if you excel at that, I mean, it's very hard to, argue with that, right? But, there's programming talent all over the world now. Always, we had this discussion before, yeah, like Switzerland is high, expensive place. And I believe programming ability is evenly distributed over the world, right? Number one. But number two is like really the reason why still we have like, programming offices for like consultancies everywhere. Swiss consultancies, they would open offices in like Zurich, Bern, Basel. Why do they do this? Because like it's 1 hour drive, right? It makes like, kind of no sense. But they still do it because it has something like, you have to know a little bit of local stuff, the language of some business domain, and it's already putting you ahead in front of the other candidates that are somewhere in the world. I mean, look from the company's perspective. Like the company says, okay, revenue from a developer is like, let's say 300,000. So whether I should hire someone in Zurich for 120K as a senior developer, for example, like I'd rather do that than somewhere cheaper, because these people, they're already like, there is some close business understanding there, right? It's for me very hard to explain because it's very tested knowledge, right? But in the end of the day, it's of course like a programming, like a hairdresser, in Zurich Binz here doesn't compete with a hairdresser in Lucerne, right? It's not like that because you have to be there. But the programming profession, somehow, it didn't yet get fully remote. And even, remote work, like Skype, wasn't that bad. Like, I mean, remote work didn't start with COVID or something like that. We had the technology to really work remote, like, for a long time. But now, it's maybe because the tools make programming, like the simple stuff, easier. Now it's probably even more to be good at computer science fundamentals and this local domain business understanding, because this is actually a bit easier, To be like a genius programmer, like let's be honest, it's like actually hard, But like if you're local, like really understand where you're in, how you can add value. Point number 3 is my like super favorite, because this was like a sentence: do good things and talk about it. I took from a professor in university who was like really in practice in like public relations and stuff, and I thought this is dumb. But then really like he could give like a million examples where it's like you give like a little bit of explanation in the right moment, yeah, and you get like a salary raise, a like better deal in your job. I always lead with like, hey, okay, we are a recruitment agency. But we have collected, like, I personally have over 100 reviews on LinkedIn, like people saying, okay, Iwan did not terrible work, right? Just that already like puts me ahead, yeah? And you should like, collect things that you did well during the year. So at the end of the year, when you talk to your boss, it's not like silence, but you're like, okay, I did this well. So, I would like to have an increase, right? So these programmers are really like not thinking about, because they're not trained to do that. And we as entrepreneurs, we do it like all the time. So this is something that's easy to do, and it's like the benefit is like very, very, very high. That is like the quick summary. And basically I wrote a whole like ebook of like 100 pages about this. So you can grab a copy with like a discount code for the .NET community. And I opened the discussion. So Maybe you have a bazillion questions, maybe you have 0, but yeah, you go ahead.
Do you use AI tools in your recruitment kind of job a lot, or?
Yeah, so the question is, do I use AI tools for the recruitment work? I mean, yeah, for like Twitter, social media, I was like actually this guy I mentioned. I like, you know, yeah, I think Jose invited me because of my tweets and LinkedIn, right? So I think the reason for that is that I don't use it so much. Like I tried it and then it's like, oh wow, the tweet is really good and I used it. But then like a second time, it's like, oh, it's really bad. It's not my style. And it's like, okay, I don't use it anymore. So my whole social media, again, is like just me doing stuff and writing stuff. So like I went away from that, right? The other tools, actually, we have like tools that we developed ourselves that we use. It doesn't really have, like it has nothing, I mean, yeah, okay, that's not true. We have like one thing we played around. It's like a job description generator because like a client wanted that, so we played around. We built like a tool where it's like, okay, you say like Java engineer, and then you spit out the job description, right? So, and I think that works because like anyway, most job descriptions, they really suck, right? You notice this? Yeah, but so do actually the resumes, sadly. That's why, like, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, a 2-minute conversation is unfortunately needed. Like, I try to make it, like, you know, automate away. It's not possible, yeah? Because, again, job descriptions suck, resumes suck, so what you gonna do, right? So, yeah, AI-generated job descriptions, they are, like, yeah, I mean, kinda okay, I guess, sometimes. But, yeah. I guess you could, you could do, I mean, CV parsing is surprisingly still very, very hard. Like, unless you, for example, if you get the phone number and the email address and the full name, this already you should be happy. But for example, like the big CV parsers, they would still like rely on like mechanical Turk part. Like, no, not rely, but like they would be. That's why if you have like these big companies, if you upload your PDF, yeah, resume, they ask you, okay, enter where you went to school and blah, 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 and all this stuff. Because like, it's an unsolved problem. It's very hard. Like a CV, you think like, oh, this is very easy. It's like almost structured data, right? Like work, education, like, but still, the big, like super expensive APIs for that, they would still not find like more than this like basic information. So, I mean, with AI, maybe there will be something that is better at that. Or at least tell me if this is like somebody like focused on Java or JavaScript. Like even that would be like, whew, you know. But yeah. Yeah, sure.
Do you think organizations that don't use, let's say take an example, an organization that doesn't offer GitHub Copilot in its stack, tech stack, the developers or the candidates who don't want to apply there anymore because they think, okay, why would I would go to a company where they have GitHub Copilot. So do you think there would be disadvantages for the organization who don't use the generative AI coding stack like GitHub Copilot?
Okay, the question is if a company doesn't offer GitHub Copilot, will like people be less willing to apply?
Yeah. What's your opinion?
Yeah.
I have my opinion, but I want to hear.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's a function of, yeah, people having like seeing value at that, right? I mean, if it's like this, that obviously people use it, like all the boilerplate is like gone. You can just focus on the actual, like, you know, this what we talked about, like you know, computer science fundamentals, making the code like really proper, clean code practices. Yeah, I would say, I mean, it's like, you know, in any craft, like in any artisan job, right? If there's like, you know, a job about like, I don't know, making nice furniture and stuff, yeah? And in this job, there is like, yeah, very good tools. And there's like one like craftsman shop where they don't offer this amazing tools, then probably like people will be less likely to apply there for sure. But like, I've seen companies, you know, there's like people using IDEs will like also help, let's say, and there would still be people who, you know, sit in, actually the same guy, hi Marcel if you're watching, so 2 fingers, and he would use Sublime Text, and everybody else would be like on an IDE, with code completion, bam, 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 everything there. So it's a little bit like some people will not care, I think. Some people will care like a lot, and yeah, you showed like super exciting. Really like okay, bam, 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 you're quicker through the boring stuff. So I see it to be like a big advantage. Yeah, yeah.
Do you already have job offerings that ask for AI specifically? Like, do companies already, or do more companies start picking up, like, AI could be relevant for us, so we need AI developers,
Yeah.
AI solution engineers, something like this?
So the question is not like, okay, AI like is a coding helper, but like, okay, do I see jobs where it's like, okay, you are an AI developer, like that?
Yeah, like using the APIs to
Using-
provide value for the company.
Using the APIs.
It's like the first stop probably, right? Yeah, it's like building the tool. Exactly. Having experience in semantic kernel
Yeah.
with LLMs and
Yeah. It's maybe similar to the ML, when like ML data science and stuff. There's like, if this appears, I haven't seen that many, to be honest. But if it comes, my gut feel is, there are gonna be like a lot of people who wanna do this, right? So with the ML jobs, it's like that you have like, if you put a machine learning job out there, you'll have like 5,000 applications. If you put a Java Spring job out there, it's like 2 applications. Like seriously.
I've heard that too.
Yeah. So why is that? Because it's like, okay, yeah, it's like super needed skill. It's always like, it's the media with data science and ML was the same stuff. Like it was always in the media, oh yeah, it's like so sought after talent, like it will be 300K, like, whoa. But like at the end of the day, then we as a headhunting firm, like in 8 years, I didn't get the request to like headhunt like a data science machine learning guy, like not once. And somebody who's like, okay, can you build software that actually doesn't crash and another person can read the code? Like, for this I get like requests, like, I do get the request, right, for sure. Like this is what I live off of, actually. Like, they're really like, okay, we need somebody who actually can do hard stuff. Not like, import NumPy, then you get yeah. But, the skill, to answer your question, like, I guess the skill will be needed, yeah. If you do like a startup, like, let's say, you do a startup like, to generate really good job descriptions, right? Yeah, I guess you would need at some point someone who's like really good at that, and it's hard to find. Sure.
Yeah, I can jump in on that as well. We are an IT service company and got some requests for AI machine learning, very specific tech, but 2-3 requests maybe in the last month.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so this
Very rare.
he works at like a big recruitment firm, like very big, and he got a request of 2-3, like very few. Yeah, I just repeat for that. Yeah.
But there are some, but very few.
But it's gonna come next year. No, but that's what people are still figuring what AI is.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own definition. When cloud came in, everyone has their, what is cloud? Should I jump on it? All right. My competitor is going. Maybe I should also go. Okay, I need an AI officer. So you hire an AI officer, right? Suddenly you come in, like in Dubai, UAE has an AI minister, right? Minister of AI.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. Our GitHub CEO went in, because we want to expand in Middle East, there's a minister of AI. Which country has that now? So ministry will come in and all that, and you're gonna get subsidiaries and look at money, and then comes engineers, comes like, and we are the first one to be upgraded. We all are already upgrading, right, by the time that comes. So I think the next wave is gonna be everything. Wherever we say AI, I'm applying actually. So like you see that, right? You see any cloud, I'm doing AWS, but I can also do Azure now, okay, because it's cloud, right?
Yeah.
So it's, I think the next wave is of this, where everyone wants to build their own chatbots, own documentation, own code bases. So it would be interesting.
Yeah. Then ping me anytime. You have my contact details there. And then, or any other last? No. Okay. So we get food, I guess. Great. Thank you.